Is it Thursday? I think it's Thursday. It's not supposed to be a slow news day, Shad.
Not in our business, let me tell you.
Good answer. Has it been a slow news day since you started here?
I don't think so, and especially since Biden made his way into the White House. It's just been nonstop hardcore Thursdays.
Every single day brings us unbelievable. I just have a hello, Sebastian Gorka here, America First, Salem Radio. I just have 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 stories in my left hand that I want to mention as soon as we get going. We have so much to cover in just 3 hours. I wish I could talk as fast as Larry Elder and pack 6 hours in, but I can't. I think the accent slows me down. I don't know what it is, but we're going to try and cover as much of it with great friends and you, our dear listeners. Buck Sexton's going to be with us, former NYPD, former CIA, Matt Boyle, the man for Washington politics at Breitbart. Jenna Ellis with some big news. President Trump's former attorney and the Baron, Boris Epstein, from an undisclosed location, will be giving us his take on what's going on Capitol Hill. But first, let's get to some stories that... Some really good news today, guys. Some really, really good news. And I love this. Just reinforces for me why our Republican form of government is such a blessing. Whatever a crazy, doddering old man does in the White House, whatever insane, radical piece of paper they shove in front of him and get him to sign, it's okay. Our founding fathers were geniuses. Why? Yes, the president has a lot of power. Yes, he is the commander-in-chief. But at the end of the day, we do have checks and balances. We do have built-in gridlock. People say gridlock's a bad thing. No, it's the whole point. The founding fathers wanted this stinking cesspit, this sewer of a city, to be as irrelevant in your everyday life as possible. And they believed, I don't think they had the word for it yet, maybe in Latin. I know it's a principle of the Catholic faith, but they understood the principle of subsidiarity, which sounds fancy, but it's very simple. If there's an issue, if there's a problem, solve it at the level closest to the people being affected by that issue. If you've got an issue in Idaho, if you've got an issue in Montana, you don't run thousands of miles away to D.C. You don't try and fix it at the federal level. If your local village, town, state has an issue, solve it there. And that's why Switzerland has its cantons, but here, the power of the states, the freedom of the states to represent their citizens is one of the most important, beautiful, and essential parts of what makes America work in a way that vouches safe our liberty. So here's the good news. We'll start with the good news. The Alabama Senate has passed a bill that would ban hormone therapy and surgery for minors who are going through a transgender so-called transition. God bless Alabama. They know the insanity. What child has the wherewithal, the mental competence, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? When your hormones are raging at the age of 12, you're going to make a decision that will change the rest of your life? Mutilate yourself? Change the chemical makeup of your body? No, not in Alabama. Mississippi has passed a bill that blocks transgender athletes from participating in girls' sports. God bless Mississippi. I hope it is the first of many, many states. Back in D.C., God bless Senator Ron Johnson. What has he done? He has initiated a move. This is just delicious. To make the clerk of the Senate read through the whole coronavirus, quote unquote, relief bill. The $1.9 trillion pork-laden bill, 91% of which has nothing to do with the health of this country or beating China's deadliest virus. How long is that going to take? Somebody's going to work out how long it's going to take to read that. Oh, here we go. 10 hours. That's an outrage. Could you imagine if Washington, if Jefferson, if Adams were told that everything you are risking your lives for, your treasure, your sacred honor, will result in 2 centuries later an abortion of a bill being brought to the floor of Congress that will take 10 hours to read? 10 hours? That's not politics. That's not representative government. That's an outrage. Just as outrageous a decision as the vote in the House. Wow. H.R. 1. We're going to have a very, very special guest to talk about H.R. 1 tomorrow at the opening of the show. This is the 800-page document that is an attempt to federalize elections in America against the U.S. Constitution, meaning that there will be federal requirements for how states run their election in direct contravention of our base law. In the House of Representatives, the majority of Democrats voted with the H.R. bill to lower the voting age to 16. Can you remember when you were 16? I can vaguely remember through the mists of time what I was like at 16. And the idea that I, or any one of my compatriots, were fit to make decisions that would impact the future of the nation is absurd. I don't care who you are. I really don't care who you are, who your parents were, how educated you think you were at the age of 16. A 16-year-old does not know what they are doing when it comes to politics. But why would the Democrats want to do that? For exactly the same reason that they want to let hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants into this country, many of them who will, just listen to Mark Morgan, former commissioner of the CBP, will test positive for the coronavirus, release them into this nation, and then, through H.R. 1, make sure that they can vote. If you're not checking the ID of an individual who's been issued a driving license against the voter rolls, as H.R. 1 demands, then they get to vote. If you formally, as Joe Biden has suggested, that we will, in a rolling process, amnesty millions of illegal immigrants who are already here, and we don't even know how many are here. It's not 11 million. That's an ancient study. It could be closer to 30 million. If the Democrats, if H.R. 1 passes in the Senate, manage to amnesty tens of millions of illegal aliens, including those who are entering across the border now, in what will be, I tell you now, the first crisis of this administration, well, they will reign forever. And I mean reign forever. But we can stop them if good people speak up. That's why we're here. I'm Sebastian Gorka. This is America First on the Salem Radio Network, coming to you from the ReliefFactor.com studios. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, don't touch that dial.